Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
And how? Thanks for joining us. 888-900-3393, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Much to discuss as always. Joe Biden was tremendous yesterday on The View. I think that's what we're all going to discover together if you missed it yesterday. It was just tremendous. And Kamala Harris, her melodic tones, wherever she goes, it's just a joy. It's really joyful to listen to her, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what did bring me joy.
Okay.
Was this prediction from John Fredericks of One American News. This might give you a little bit of hope. He's making a lot of sense here. And here's his prediction for the election coming up in November. John Fredericks, cut number 1.
The reason I believe that Trump is going to win in an electoral landslide.
No.
And when I say electoral landslide,
Okay.
I think he's going to run the table.
Okay.
I mean, right now, Maine is competitive.
All 50 states?
Virginia is competitive.
Okay.
Right? States that there's no way on earth he should win are competitive.
Maine
Why?
and Virginia.
Let me tell you the reason.
Tell me the reason.
Fear.
Tell us.
Fear.
Fear is an unbelievable motivator.
I don't care what
when
motivates.
you are afraid, you
Just
will act.
get them there.
And people right now are in fear. They're in fear of their jobs.
Yeah.
They're in fear of their future.
Okay.
They're in fear of their communities.
Indeed.
They're in fear of where they're going to live, what they're going to do, their grandchildren, their children. People are now operating out of fear. All of us are, because they know what the OBH regime is going to do to them. OBH is Obama, Biden, Harris.
Yeah,
they know what the regime is going to do. They're going to flood the zone with illegals.
catchy.
Every community is going to be overrun. Every resource you have is going to get strained. All your taxpayer dollars are going to go to them. They're going to register all of them to vote. You'll never win again. They're going to raise your taxes. They're going to put small business under. They're going to have all kinds of regulations. You're not going to be able to drive the car you want. You're not going to be able to do anything.
Except get an abortion. You can do that.
Economic collapse. Wars is a great motivator.
Yeah, he just lied. He just lied right there. You're going to be able to get your abortions.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to make sure of that. They want you to hang on to that right to murder babies. That will not go away. So they're not going to take everything away from you.
All right, well, silver lining.
Other than that, was there anything wrong in what he said? Jeez, it's true. And let's hope that it plays out that way.
Boy.
People are just so afraid of Kamala Harris, and they should be. We all should be. That you pull the lever for, or push the button, or whatever the check mark, whatever form of voting for Donald Trump it takes in your area.
Scan the Xerox copy.
Yeah,
whatever it takes.
Whatever. Because it's frightening. There are so many things at stake. The economy, our very way of life, our culture, whether or not we become more enmeshed in wars and start a world war. World War III is not appealing to me. I'd like to avoid that if possible. You know? I really would.
Okay, I guess.
Maybe I'm kind of picky that way, but I'm going to go out on that limb.
Well, we're getting closer because we
know
got Russia tweaking their rules of engagement when it comes to using nukes.
Jeez.
So, yep.
So you got that.
That could be the parting gift of one Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
World War III waiting for Donald Trump.
Things are a little edgy right now with Iran because they're apparently sending out hit squads to try to kill Donald Trump. The Ayatollah posted a video online.
This is a couple years ago.
It's been out there for a while.
Yeah. And then Senator Mike Lee posted this on Twitter yesterday. Some people giving him some
flack for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think it's important to see how real this threat is. Now, I don't know that they can pull this off, but this is their dream. And if you're listening, it's a little remote control. It's armed. It's at Mar-a-Lago. It snuck in under the gate. And now Iranian hackers are going to work.
Wow. Okay.
Right. And then it stops playing? That's not the end of it. Uh-oh. I think our gerbil just died.
Oh, boy. I hate when that happens.
I mean, we're just getting to the climactic scene. There we go.
Oh, there we go. All
right. Might want to call the IT guy preemptively. So he's on the golf course now, this little robot thing. Okay.
Wow. So in the video, they're using robotics to get to Trump.
He's hacking.
And now they've hacked in
cell phones there of his golf buddies. And this is all the vengeance for
Soleimani.
So they're getting a text. The one who gave the order will pay the price. Oh, look.
Oh, boy.
Now how did this thing get in our airspace? We got a bomber? Come on.
Our security is so ironclad. That could never happen. That's the good part of it, is that you just know that he is so well protected. You know, especially like a drone. They wouldn't allow a drone anywhere in the area where he is.
The Shadow is a B-2 bomber, man, right? Or did they hack into that? I mean, I don't quite follow along, but obviously they're just not going to let Soleimani's death go, obviously.
It's been a while, too. What was that, 2017 or something? It's been a while. Get over it. Okay? Get over it. Then there's a fake Palestinian video as well.
Holy crap. Holy crap. This is so fun. So he's crying because the kid in his arms is dead. So dead. He's good with the tears. I don't know. If we're gonna record this and put it out, can we at least pull back on the humming drones?
Oh, the dead now move their arms?
Wait, what?
And hands and stuff?
No.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, one of the things about death, Pat,
look at that,
is it makes your feet itch too.
Yeah.
And
so obviously you're gonna scratch.
Of course you're gonna scratch.
Oh wow, those darn Israelis.
Wait, Dad, I gotta scratch my. Hang on, I gotta itch here.
Okay.
There we go.
That's adorable. He didn't really play along, did he?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right, take 23. Incredible.
Is that real, or did somebody just put that out?
No, they
as kind of a joke about their fakiness.
I think it was
it's real. Somebody's actually trying to pawn that off as.
Look what Israel did to my kid.
Israel just killed my child.
Gave my kid rosacea or whatever it's called. Holy crap.
Sitting there in the rubble, and you're led to believe that, okay, he just pulled his son out of that rubble, I guess? I don't know. Very strange.
Well, I mean, dust from buildings are going to cause your feet to itch.
Well, yeah.
That's probably what the problem was.
That could be.
Oh, my God.
Fast actin' to actin'.
Boom!
Have they not seen the John Madden commercials? Come on. Those have been out for a while. Go get you some. Okay? Meanwhile, for his part, Donald Trump was in Pennsylvania and Georgia. Today, I guess, North Carolina?
No,
or was that yesterday?
Yesterday he was.
Okay, so yesterday, North Carolina. Day before that, Pennsylvania and Georgia, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Here's some of what he had to say.
Kamala Harris is a one-woman economic wrecking ball. And this November, the people of North Carolina are going to tell her we've had enough. We can't take it anymore. Kamala Harris, you're fired. Get out. You're fired. You did a lousy job as vice president.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is. And then he continued along that
Yesterday, I was in Georgia, a great place, to outline my plan for an American manufacturing renaissance. That's what we're doing. We got tremendous reviews on that speech. Now today, Kamala Harris is supposedly announcing her so-called plans to support manufacturing and wealth creation. Why didn't she do it 3.5 years ago?
Why indeed? Why didn't she do it 3.5 years ago? Or any time in between now and then? Because she's been around a while. She really wants us to forget that. She wants us to think that Donald Trump has been in office for the last 4 years. I wish that had been the case, but it hasn't. And she just keeps trying to make it like she's the newcomer to this event. You're not. Putin. You're not. And hopefully the American people are not going to be fooled by this, but I don't know. Who knows at this point? Who knows? She described her childhood again yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I understand.
She understands.
The pressures of making ends meet.
Wait for it.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a middle-class family.
Yes!
There you go.
Yes!
She grew up in a middle-class family.
We got there.
Huh.
Cannot help ourselves. You know what that is? That is replaced her laugh.
The middle-class family
For her
line?
nervous tick.
Yeah, it's really true.
It's all about being a middle-class kid.
I don't know. Somebody told her, hey, you really hit on something right there. Yes, that's relatable to Americans. Everybody grew up in a middle-class family. Except she didn't. But why would she let that bother her? Yeah. Here she is on failed policies, hers.
We just need to move past the failed policies that we have proven don't work.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Awesome.
How great is that? Perfect, right?
Yes! That's great stuff. And it's so true.
So true.
Play that again.
Yeah.
It's just, that's amazing that she said this again.
We just need to move past the failed policies that we have proven don't work.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Yeah. Yeah. And she has proven they don't work. So why would we go to her for them again? Incredible. That's really, really amazing. Do you have no self-awareness at all? Do you believe, have you convinced yourself that you've not been around the last 4 years? And those policies have not worked, and you did prove that. So that's why we're not going to vote for you. That's one of the many reasons. Man. But Joe Biden was on The View yesterday. Apparently, there's a rumor going around that he's still in office.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Who knew?
We fact check that one, Chris?
Because we could fact check that in real time. See what Google says about it.
It's true.
Oh, wow. Really? You found out that quickly?
That quickly.
So Joe Biden is still president.
He's
I don't
still
know.
president.
Tell your friends, tell your coworkers today at the water cooler, you learned fun facts on Pat Gray Unleashed.
Yeah.
Apparently Joe Biden's the president. Who knew?
Nobody
Now,
else
this is
gonna be telling you.
Wikipedia. Anybody can change that.
Oh.
That's what happened. Okay. So
But
he was on The
according
View.
to Wikipedia, he is still president.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, and he was on The View yesterday. That is confirmed?
Okay.
Yeah. Here's
Yes.
some of that. Cut 8.
And as vice president, there wasn't a single thing that I did that she couldn't do. And so I was able to delegate her responsibility on everything from foreign policy to domestic policy.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
It's so great.
It's so great. I love it.
It's so true.
What we got?
They're doing
And
the
as vice
work for the
president,
Trump
there wasn't a
campaign.
single thing that I did that she couldn't do. And so I was able to delegate her responsibility on everything from foreign policy to domestic policy.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Brilliant.
Holy
Genius.
crap.
That's just so good.
I mean, and Tim Walz over the weekend said something similar. Remember we played the clip on Monday, and it was just like he was talking about the last 4 years. Or just,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is a good group.
I know I keep asking this question, but did that actually come from the Trump campaign? No?
Yeah.
Okay. They need to do that. That needs to be official. Just get that out. It is so perfect.
No, the Trump War Room put those out. Both of them.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Trump War Room, yes, but they're not
Yeah.
like part of the campaign, right?
I mean, they're not in the same building, but it's like...
But it's an official Trump video.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's brilliant.
I love
That's
it.
really good.
I love it.
Here's Biden on The View, part 2. Cut 9.
Did you feel that your hand was forced, and what is your relationship with Speaker
Get
Pelosi now?
To
The relationship is fine. Look,
Oh, really?
Look.
He blew right by that.
Yeah.
I never fully believed
Okay.
the assertions that somehow
Listen.
there was this overwhelming reluctance of my running again. I didn't sense that. And although the polling, as I said, Biden's polling was different, the fact of the matter is my polling was about, we're always within range of beating this guy. Yeah. And, but what I did was, I think there were, it makes sense. There were some folks who would like to see me step aside so they have a chance to move on. I get that. That's just human nature. But that wasn't the reason that I stepped down.
What was?
I stepped
What was
down
the
because
reason?
I started thinking about it.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Really, you didn't think
it's
of it
hard to think
before?
I know you're only 30. But it's hard to think of, it's hard for me to even say how old I am.
He's good, man.
He is good.
I mean, what a charmer. Am I right?
Oh, you're right. You're right. He's fantastic. And here's a little bit more from The View.
Oh, good.
We're having so much success in getting things done that people thought we couldn't get done.
Right.
I found myself having used more time than I would have ordinarily to pass that torch. But working with
Pause it
Kamala,
for a
she
second.
is.
Yeah, notice the joint American-Ukraine flag on there. That's because he represents both countries, I guess.
Oh, he's president of Ukraine.
He's
as well?
president of Ukraine as well.
Fact check that, would you?
And
See what it says on Wikipedia.
so that's great. The Ukrainian flag pin is really a nice touch for this interview. That's great. All right, let him finish here. Jeez.
Bright, she is tough, she's honorable. And the thing I like about her, and one thing we share in common, is that we have an optimistic view of the future here.
Oh, do you? Do you?
So he's explaining to us, because originally, right, he was supposed to, that clip makes no sense. There's no way to even pull it apart. He was supposed to be there for 4 years. Then he wanted to hang on for 8 years. But they got so much done in such a short amount of time that he could leave after 4 years, even though he still thinks he needs 8. I don't know what the hell that was all about.
You nailed it, bro.
Okay.
You got it.
Dude, you know exactly what it was about.
You know exactly. You got the finger on the pulse.
It's like you wrote his responses at The View or something. He also went down the Trump is a danger to democracy road again yesterday. They just won't stop trying to incite some sort of violent act against Donald Trump. What is it going to take for you to understand? This is a really bad time for that.
Yeah.
I think they do understand that.
Oh, yeah, they do.
And they don't care. They don't care. They keep, and people have challenged them on that. Why do you keep ratcheting up the rhetoric? You keep saying we should tone it down. We should turn down the temperature. All of that stuff that spews out of your cake hole. And none of it means anything to you. At least when it comes to you. Now, you're holding Trump to all of that, but you're not holding yourself to that. No, they're beyond not spewing violent rhetoric. It's fine for them to do that. Really incredible. Then he had a, what's this welcome to Washington?
Oh, so he's giving a speech in New York City.
That's
after The View.
Okay, yeah. So he's in New York City. Giving a speech
and I would
right
like
after the View appearance.
Yeah, I'd like you to notice that not only does it say New York City once, but twice on the stage with him as he says this.
Thank you. Welcome to Washington. Fellow.
It literally says
New York
next to him.
On both sides. That's great. Well, that's our president.
That's our president. Speaking of New York, Mayor Michael Adams.
And one.
Hello. Got indicted yesterday. First sitting New York mayor to be indicted. So that's going to be fun to see how that plays out. They haven't unsealed the deal yet, but
that'll teach him, won't it?
Campaign finance or something.
That should teach him not to go against the Biden administration.
Sure did.
Stop criticizing us on immigration. Okay, this is what happens. We're going to make an example out of you, and they're doing it.
And they're doing it.
They really are doing it. Then we've got MSNBC host Stephanie Ruhle. Is this where she's on with Bill Maher?
Yeah, this is last week.
Okay.
And note what she says. Keep in mind that she ended up interviewing Kamala Harris. Okay.
Work, and one could watch that and say, well, she didn't give a clear.
Clip. That's not the clip. That's not the clip. Bill Maher is going to be the very next clip, which is clip 12.
Okay. And it goes a little something like this. Clip 12? No, you don't have clip 12? All right. I think I have that.
Oh, look at that. You got the audio?
I think I have the audio on that.
Set of questions. It's not too much to ask Kamala, say, are you for a Palestinian state if Hamas is going to run that state?
Okay.
Yes or no?
And let's say you don't like her answer. Are you going to vote for Donald Trump?
No,
Yes.
I'm not. I just said I'm not going to vote for her.
She's not running for perfect. She's running against Trump. We have two choices. And so there are some things you might not know her answer to. And in 2024, unlike 2016 for a lot of the American people, we know exactly what Trump will do, who he is, and the kind of threat he is to democracy.
I don't know
So it's
her-
unclear to me how there could be an informed.
The problem that a lot of people have with Kamala is we don't know her answer to anything, okay?
But you know
Right.
his answer to everything.
And that's why I would never vote for him, and people should vote for him. But people also are expected to have some idea of what the program is of the person you're supposed to vote for. You're just not supposed to say, well, you have to vote for Y because X is this, that, and the other. Let's find out a little bit more. And I don't think it's a lot to ask her to sit down for a real interview,
I don't either.
as opposed to a puff piece in which she describes like her feelings of growing up in Oakland with nice lawns.
Then I would just say to that, when you move to Nirvana, give me your real estate
Oh, my
broker's
gosh.
number and I'll be your next door neighbor. We don't live there.
That's incredible. Again, that's the person that interviewed Kamala Harris. First thing to remember. Second thing, she's not running for perfect. She's running for president. And when you move to Nirvana, you give me the real estate broker's phone number.
Okay, so somebody in the Harris campaign saw that, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that'd be a good person.
But just asking to hear where a person who wants to be the most powerful person on earth, just ask that person to tell us where she stands on any given subject. And that's asking for Nirvana.
Look, when you say it
Really?
like that, Pat.
I mean, is that how far down this slippery slope we've slid so far?
Man.
This person has resided over and is at least partially responsible for some of the worst 4 years in American history. And despite that, she's asking for another 4 years. She's disavowed every extreme left-wing position she took just 4 years ago without explanation. She's repeatedly lied about her background, her record, her intentions, her opponent, and she's currently hiding behind being too busy to explain anything to the American people. And when we demand answers, we're the unreasonable ones. We're the ones seeking perfection and nirvana. Well, we should be seeking perfection and nirvana. But instead, we just need to shut up and trust her that these are now her positions that are the complete opposite of all her positions before, and don't worry about why she changed it. Don't even concern yourself with the fact that she's only doing it to be elected, so you can't trust any of it. Don't worry about it. Shut up and vote for her. Right, she didn't follow any democratic process to even get to this point. We were promised an open Democratic nomination. They didn't do it. They shut it down immediately. They didn't even wait. What'd they wait? 2 days? Was it even 2 days? When they said, yep, she's a nominee. Move on. Well, wait, you got a convention coming up. Are you going to open up the convention with, I don't know, other competitors? Nope. Everybody's been shut down and told to go home and just get on board the Kamala train. Huh. What happened to democracy? It's just, I mean, how could you possibly vote for this ticket? How could you do it? I don't understand that. She shouldn't have any support. It should be 100% right now for Donald Trump. All right, I got to take a minute to tell you about Praxis. If your teen is unsure what to do after high school, then this new 6-week life and career skills course from Praxis might be just what you're looking for. For the past decade, Praxis has helped nearly 1,000 homeschoolers and recent high school graduates launch their careers without college through their mentorship program. And now they're bringing their expertise to teens with their new course, Discover. Discover is a 6-week self-paced course designed to equip teens with essential life and career skills, like building a professional network, making money by creating value, and developing a vision for the future. Plus, it includes a coaching call, a free resume review, and a copy of their book, Don't Do Stuff You Hate. And now, for just a limited time, they're offering listeners of our show 50% off the course price. Just use the promo code UNLEASHED at checkout, and you'll get $374.50 off the price. $374.50. Visit discoverpraxis.com/blaze today to learn more.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
All right. So Stephanie Ruhle, who was just defending Kamala and telling us not to demand perfection out of her, just asking questions, I guess, is demanding perfection from her. We're just, again, supposed to just don't worry about it. It's like the Jeffy theory on life. Don't worry about it, okay? Don't worry about why I've changed my policies.
Yeah, our betters in D.C., or more specifically the Democrat Party, have a plan for us. It doesn't involve any input from us.
Yeah.
And we aren't supposed to be asking questions or think that we even have a say in this. They've got it figured out for us. They're progressives. They're radicals. They know what's best for us. And so just take Kamala because that's who they have chosen for us.
They are the ranchers. We are the cattle.
Amen.
Just follow along and moo every once in a while. That's all you have to do.
Okay, I can handle that.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Screw your freedom.
Thank you.
And here, so she got to the Stephanie Ruhle interview, and here's some of her really great answers about high prices, for instance. Cut 15.
There's no
You said you want to take this on by going after those who engage in price gouging. Yeah. But as somebody who supports free markets, who's a capitalist, how do you go after price gouging without implementing price controls? Because once we get in this zone, people start to get worried and they say, I don't know what she stands for.
So, just to be very frank.
Yeah, be very frank.
I am never going to apologize for going after companies and corporations that take advantage of the desperation of the American people. And I, as Attorney General, I saw this happen.
Okay.
What caused that? The government, your administration.
Gosh. There's a difference between when things are not in an emergency state and you're raising prices, because you're making money or because your costs have gone up. So you're passing those along to the consumer, which is exactly what's happened lately. Okay. Everybody's cost has gone up. Your cost of doing business, your cost of ingredients, if you do food service, your costs have gone up. Now, you can either eat that loss then and just take it and go out of business, or you can gradually raise prices to stay in the game. It eventually has to happen if you're going to continue to survive as a business. So the thing that you have to look out for, I guess, is when you're taking advantage of emergency situations. A hurricane, for instance.
Right now.
Yes. I mean, a lot of states do have laws on gouging people during a tragedy or a catastrophe. That's where you draw that line. Not now for everybody. No, that is not capitalism. You should be apologizing for your stand on that. That's not being a free market person at all. We haven't even got through this. So coming up here, we will try again to get through just her first answer, which is not an answer, by the way. Saying I will not apologize for whatever. That's not the answer. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
guys have to try this. Sorry, at home, it's probably unlikely that you'll make it here in time to try any of this, but...
Wait a minute.
Oh, my gosh. Somebody came to the kitchen yesterday at Kexi, and they brought us food. I think yes, she was in town.
She was trying to
got
barter.
A little note here.
She's trying to barter. She's like, look, I'll give you some pasta.
Exactly. So she says, I've ordered your cookies and the absolute goodness. Since I drove down for the art exhibit, I thought I'd drop some goodness off from St. Louis. Enjoy the gooey butter cake.
Oh, wow.
Peace and grace, Margaret. Margaret, thank you so much. Cake. This is incredible.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm not a big cake guy.
Yeah.
This is the best cake I've ever experienced.
Thanks for leaving us some crumbs.
Yeah,
there.
you get a little bit of it there. So yeah, it's here. I only brought it in because I don't want my glucose level to be 1,500.
Oh, we'll take care of it for you.
But man, that is some good eating. Cool. And if you'd like to get some cookies that are great eating as well, Kexi.com, KEKSI.com. They're going to drop the pumpkin bread again next month, which means what? 3 or 4 days from now? 3 days?
Yeah, 3 days. Yeah.
Okay. And who knows when we'll bring back the coffee cake cookie. We just did and it sold out like immediately. So that may happen again sometime soon. But let's get back to Kamala's interview. This is I believe the second sit-down interview?
Yeah, the other one was
on her own. The other was a local radio station.
If you count that.
Hold on. So she's done now this MSNBC one, public radio in Wisconsin, local guy in like Allentown or somewhere up there in Pennsylvania, and then the Tim Walz sit down, like, hold my hand, please, I'm scared. Mm-hmm. So she's making them rounds.
And here was Kamala yesterday on MSNBC on high prices. Cut 50.
Prices are still high.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You said you want to take this on by going after those who engage in price gouging.
Yeah.
Define price
But as somebody who supports free markets, who's a
No,
capitalist,
she doesn't, though.
how do you go after price gouging without implementing price controls? Because once we get in this zone, people start to get worried and they say, I don't know what she stands for.
So, just to be very frank,
she's not going to apologize.
I am never going to
for being a
apologize
communist.
for going after
For being a communist.
companies and corporations that take advantage of the desperation of the American people.
Yeah.
And I, as Attorney General, I saw this happen.
Oh,
In the midst of an emergency, whether it be an extreme weather event or even the pandemic, we saw it. Where those few companies, not the majority, not most,
This is government.
but those few companies that would take advantage of the desperation of people and jack up prices. Yeah, I'm going to go after them. Yes, I'm going to go after them.
Okay.
And that is part of
Here's your warning,
a much
America.
more comprehensive plan on what we can do to bring down the cost of living, including housing, including the everyday needs of the American people.
Wow. Okay, so she can declare an emergency at any time. In fact, we've got an emergency declaration that's existed since 9/11. So at any time, she can declare that emergency and just start freezing prices, just start telling companies what they can and cannot do. So dangerous, so unconstitutional. And she's telling you she's going to do it right there. What more do we need? She is an absolute disaster waiting to happen.
Oh, my gosh. I had not, boy, shame on me. I just didn't know this. You just said the emergency declaration continues. Mm-hmm. I see this at whitehouse.gov that on September 14th, just a couple of weeks ago, that Joe Biden continued that officially.
Yeah, Yep, kept it in place. Okay, why? What's the emergency now?
Holy crap, America.
Yeah, so it's chilling. It really is chilling. There are so many things going on right now that are absolutely terrifying. And the possibility of Kamala Harris being elected is probably the biggest one. I mean, it just absolutely, it can't happen. We say it every day, but it can't happen. Here she is on her vision for Americans.
For those who say these policies aren't for me, what do you say to them?
You racist.
Well, if you are hardworking, if you have the dreams and the ambitions and the aspirations of
Hit a home run
But I
here.
believe you do. You're in my plan. You know, I have to tell you, I really love and am so energized by what I know to be the spirit and character of the American people. We have ambition.
Garbage.
We have aspirations. We have dreams. We can see what's possible. We have an incredible work ethic.
Yeah.
But not everyone has the access to the opportunities that allow them to achieve those things. But we don't lack for those things. But not everyone, you know, gets handed stuff on a silver platter. And so my vision for the economy, I call it an opportunity economy, is about making sure that all Americans, wherever they start, wherever they are, have the ability to actually achieve those dreams and those ambitions, which include for middle-class families, just being able to know that their hard work allows them to get ahead, right? I think we can't and we shouldn't aspire to have an economy that just allows people to get by. People want to do more than just get by. They want to get ahead. And I come from the middle class.
And there it is. And she comes from a middle-class family.
She can't help it.
She can't.
Right? We got one of those. We got 2 middle-class family drops.
Right.
Right. Oh,
right.
Boy.
And she has a new word. I
Some
love
of the work
new words.
is going to be through what we do in terms of giving benefits and assistance to state and local governments around transit dollars. And looking holistically at the connection between that and housing. And looking holistically at the incentives we in the federal government can create for local and state governments to actually engage in planning in a holistic manner that includes prioritizing affordable housing for working people.
We stumbled onto it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a holistic approach to destroying the economy. Good. Yeah, we're going to destroy all of it, not just part of it. We're going to destroy it as a whole. That's our holistic plan to bring America down.
I kind of want to point out that she's leaning on public transit as the way forward. That's going to fix everything. But instead, I'm hung up on her mentioning that we have to have affordable housing. And when I hear a government official use the phrase affordable housing, all I can think of is, here come more projects?
Yeah.
Is that what we're getting out of the
that's what I think of every time is one after another public housing tenements in New York City, in places like the Bronx, where you just see the same apartment building over and over and over and over for like half a mile. And they're all run down and they're all beat up and they're a trap for people to just exist and not thrive and not get ahead. Those are not middle class buildings.
No.
Those are poverty ridden buildings.
Yep.
And you want to do more of that? Oh, okay. I don't know anybody who does. But that's what's in store for us if she's elected.
I mean, this is kind of what I mean. I was just thinking about this this morning, listening to this clip, and it's like the abject poverty that is a part of you talked about in New York. I'm envisioning driving to a Braves game in Atlanta and seeing the projects down there and the poverty in the black communities. And honestly, that's just a step away from the kind of housing you see. Everybody's got a house in a communist country. Everybody's got, what do you mean? Everybody's got a roof over their head. Yeah. Look how much that life sucks. No, thank you. These people.
Yeah. The parts of America that look like Russia are all public housing. Those are all the projects. Thank you, LBJ, who's responsible for that madness. Then here she is on companies paying their fair share.
Oh, goody.
Senate, where do you get the money to do that? Do you still go forward with those plans and borrow?
Well, but we're going to have to raise corporate taxes, and we're going to have to raise. We're going to have to make sure that the biggest corporations and billionaires pay their fair share. That's just it. It's about paying their fair share.
I can't take it.
I am not mad at anyone for achieving success. But everyone should pay their fair share, and it is not right that the teachers and the firefighters that I meet every day across our country
Is it
are paying a higher
40%? Is it
tax
50%? What's our
than the
fair
richest
share?
people in our country.
Bill Gates just said it this week. If he was in charge of taxes, he would have paid more. But how do you find that line?
Who said it?
To make sure corporations are paying their fair share, but they're not leaving our country.
Well, listen, I work with a lot of CEOs. I have spent a lot of time with CEOs, and I'm going to tell you that the business leaders who are actually part of the engine of America's economy
They
agree
want more
that people
tax.
should pay their fair share. They also agree that when we look at a plan such as mine that is about investing in the middle class, investing in
Pause
new
it for a
industry.
second. What CEO is saying, you know what, we don't, Kamala, we don't pay our fair share. We don't pay nearly enough in taxation. Really, you need to hammer us with taxes. You really do.
You know, you can pay more, Mark Cuban.
Yeah, go ahead.
Pay more.
Nothing's stopping
Right?
you.
You can hold a press conference and say, you know what? I love this country so much, and then I did my taxes, and I thought, you know what? That's not enough. So I'm called y'all here today because I'm sending this check for an extra $20 million to the federal government. Please use it wisely. You can do that. Do it. You're not going to do that.
Yeah. Is there one single person on this earth that would ever volunteer? No. None of them ever have or ever will volunteer to pay extra taxes. Nobody is saying to Kamala Harris, yes, please raise my corporate rate back up to 35% from the 21% that Trump lowered it to. I certainly don't want it to go down to 15% like he's proposing. No, I want to pay far more in taxation.
I swear this. Help.
When they pay less, they do better, and so does America. Every single time you lower taxes, it increases revenue in this country. Every time. That's how it works, because tax cuts spark the economic engine. People produce more, they spend more, they make more. It just works every time. This taxation thing, that's going to bring us more money to pay for other things, it doesn't work.
I mean, she just got done talking about price gouging.
Yeah.
What the hell do you think federal taxes are?
Oh, my gosh,
Those are
yes.
price gouging on Americans.
Jeez.
I swear, these people.
Oh, she is agonizing to the billionth power.
She's taking a holistic approach to screwing over America
to
once
destroying
and for all.
us. Absolutely. All right, let me tell you about preborn. It's unfortunate. There's still a need for the ministry of preborn, especially after Roe v. Wade was overturned, right? We all thought, okay, good. This is going to help a lot. What it did instead was move the abortions to certain states. And then they celebrated their abortions. They encouraged abortion. They promoted abortion. And so more abortions happened than ever before. Over 1 million last year in the United States alone. Now, preborn has rescued hundreds of thousands of babies' lives through ultrasounds, because the ultrasound makes so much difference. When you actually see the baby in the womb, you understand, oh my gosh, that is life inside of me. That's a separate body that is growing in my body. So I've got a responsibility to that little body as well. And then, preborn goes into action once that expectant mother has the child to help the mother with expenses, with things like baby formula, diapers, emotional support, all the things she needs. It's such an important work. And $28 buys one ultrasound for an expectant mother. $140 buys 5. So if you can help save babies' lives, please donate by dialing pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, keyword baby, or just go to preborn.com/Pat.
And now, Pat Gray returns.
Okay. Speaking of Mark Cuban. Apparently Mark Cuban wants a place in Kamala's cabinet.
He sure does. Wow. We didn't see this coming, did we? Okay.
Could I ask you, Mark, whether you would entertain being a Treasury Secretary, Commerce Secretary in a Harris administration?
Head of the SEC.
Head of the SEC.
That's the job I would take. Maybe HHS.
What the hell? Who, you qualified for? Okay.
Oh, he's so bad. He's so ridiculous.
Hold on a second. Is he a doctor? I mean, he wants to be in charge of HHS. Okay.
Interesting.
I don't know.
You know, he was a Trump supporter.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I heard he was a libertarian too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Clearly, that's all gone. And he expects people who are still Trump supporters to do some research. Okay. All right. What a moron.
Okay, hang on a second. Just looking to see here. So I'm doing a control F on his Wikipedia because, Chris taught us that Wikipedia is where we find out, confirm stuff. Just to see if he was a doctor. Control F, doctor. And the only thing that comes up under Mark Cuban's Wikipedia when I do that word is that, let's see here, under the sexual harassment allegation section of his Wikipedia, where he apparently took a polygraph test. Interesting. And had written statements from 2 medical doctors stating that the actions described were anatomically improbable. Apparently, something happened in 2011 with a woman at a bar in Portland, Oregon. Anyway, she accused him of groping her when they posed for pictures. I don't know. Whatever.
And how was it anatomically
I guess maybe
improbable?
Maybe where she's saying she was touched is impossible for his hand to go. I have no idea, but that's the only reference to a doctor under the life of Mark Cuban who wants to be head of HHS, Health and Human Services.
Or the SEC. Now, if you want to make him the president of the Southeastern Conference, that's fine. I don't care about that.
No, he's not even qualified for that, Pat.
No, he's not
Keep
qualified.
him out of our sports.
But I don't care if he drives the SEC into the ground. That'd be great, in fact. Go ahead. Be the president of the Southeastern Conference. That'd be perfect.
I didn't know the government was involved in football like that.
Nah, we'll explain after the break.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, gosh.
888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. There's still so much more to dive into, and we will get to it all coming up here.
Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Got some tweets from Hoots. The only price gouging going on in this country that should concern Americans is what happens to your paycheck every week by the federal government and the state. It's for sure. Chuck Shazam Bartowski. Yes, Kamala. We have ambitions and dreams, both of which you're destroying. Get out!
Get out.
From Bob Loblaw. Kamala talks about creating an opportunity economy, but she forgets the U.S. has offered K through 12 education for everyone for decades.
And failed miserably.
And from Holistic Uniparty Monger. Isn't it wonderful how the Democrats are never responsible for what they do? It's always somebody else's fault. Every time.
Every time.
With all of them. It was that way with Obama. It was that way with Clinton. And certainly Biden and Kamala. I mean, they even have the unmitigated gall to blame what is currently happening on Trump. As if he were the president right now and oversaw all of this inflation and all of the madness at the border. Ugh, man.
Yep. I mean, it was their January 20th executive orders that rescinded what Trump had done on the border. And so when they act like they need a law to get that fixed now, no, you just need to reinstate Trump's executive orders.
Yeah. And speaking of the border, We got this clip about Kamala and immigration capacity.
Yes, she's asked, hey, what are you going to do because cities are being overrun by immigration? What's your plan to help cities out?
All right.
This is her answer.
There are people there that are stressed, that feel that they're at capacity. Communities around the country that have legal immigration, many have said, we're at capacity.
Yeah.
And many feel like the government has said to them, well, adapt, sit down, be quiet. This is how it is. What would a Harris administration do for those communities
They'd
who've
keep it
taken
going,
in
make it
many,
worse.
many legal immigrants, but are at capacity?
Well, first of all, we do have a broken immigration system, and it needs to be fixed. And if we take a step back, months ago, some of the most
come on,
conservative
here we
members
go.
of the United States Congress
Here we
came together
go.
with others,
Oh, my gosh.
proposed a border security bill.
Tell me, Trump
That would have put
squashed it,
1,500 new
right?
border agents on the border to help those hardworking border agents who are there right now working around the clock. Would have put more money into stemming the flow of fentanyl, which is killing Americans around our country and devastating communities. Would have put more resources into our ability to prosecute transnational criminal organizations, which
It would have offered a path
I've
to
prosecuted.
citizenship for all the illegals that are
Donald
here
Trump
right now.
got word of the bill, realized it was going to fix a problem he wanted to run on, and told him to kill the bill, don't put it up for a vote.
No.
He killed a bill that would have actually been a solution because he wants to run on a problem instead of
That you
fixing
created.
a problem.
Sure.
And that's part of what needs to be addressed.
it's
And my
incredible.
pledge
It's
is that when
incredible.
elected president, if the American people will have me, I will bring that bill
won't.
back
We
and I
won't
will
have
sign
you.
it into law. And we need a comprehensive plan that includes what we need to do to
No, first we
fortify
need to
not
shut
only
down the
our
border. I
but
can't
deal
take it. Stop. Oh, it's the same answer every time. It's Trump's fault. Trump was not in office a few months ago. He couldn't squash that bill. I mean, yes, he told them it's not a good bill. You should vote against it. He's not responsible for people voting against it. He can't do anything about it. He was not the president at the time, but they're still blaming him. And it was a bad bill. Okay. Yes, it had a few good things in it, like the extra 1,500 border agents she keeps talking about. But it also would have crushed America with who knows how many new citizens all at once. This path to citizenship can't be among the first things we do. That has to wait for way down the line. First of all, there's got to be a lot of deportation. Well, first of all, secure the border. Stop the flow. Stop the flood. We're in the middle of an absolute dam break at the border. And so that has to stop. And then many people who are here illegally and have criminal backgrounds and bad intent for what they're doing in this country have to be deported. Okay? We got to get rid of the bad apples. And then later on, if you want to work out some kind of path, whatever, we can talk about that then. But this isn't the time for that. It was a bad bill, and it shouldn't have been passed. And why was it just a few months ago? Why didn't you do this the first thing you took office? Then Trump wouldn't have had anything to say about it because it was 4 years before he'd even be running for re-election. It's
maddening.
Oh, it just pisses me off.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've got her people still with the violent rhetoric. Who was it yesterday that said, let's extinguish him for good?
Oh, my. Did not see this.
It was Secretary of Commerce, Gina Raimondo, during an interview with MSNBC.
Good grief, people.
Yeah. Incredible. She said she's talking about Trump's comments being enraging, blood-curdling, and belittling to women. She said, it's just another lie. Like, how did we get here? Let's extinguish him for good.
Oh, my gosh.
Huh. Wow.
Not much ambiguity there.
Nope. None. None at all. And if these were Republicans saying these things about Kamala or Joe Biden, all hell would break loose. They'd be canceled from society. Also, we've got Kamala on tariffs.
Well, what she thinks tariffs are, because I believe she is confused what a tariff is.
Okay.
Tariffs aren't unique to President Trump. President Biden has tariffs in place. He's actually looking to potentially implement more. Where do you come out on? Is there a good tariff, a bad tariff?
Well, part of it is you don't just throw around the idea of just tariffs across the board, and that's part of the problem with Donald Trump. Frankly, I'm going to, and I say this in all sincerity, he's just not very serious about how he thinks about some of these issues. And one must be serious and have a plan.
And have a plan. Now, she won't disclose any of hers, but he needs to have a plan. Okay. I got it. And also, did she serve burgers in her past?
That was the hard-hitting question from MSNBC.
Okay.
Oh, no.
The first one, just a fact check. Because your opponent
There is
almost
no little
every
job.
day...
There's no such thing as a little job.
Okay, fair. Because your opponent almost every day seems to be talking about this. So I just want to ask you yes or no. At any point in your life, have you served 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun working at McDonald's? Yes or no? That's it.
I have.
Okay, now the other job.
But it was not a small job. Like, I did the fries. I mean, yes, but I did.
Why? When
That
has
was
he
the
ever
first-
talked
he does
about
this
that?
a lot.
Does he? I don't know that I've ever heard him talk about her slinging burgers.
That was the first question.
That was the first
That
question.
was,
really?
That was the first question.
But yeah, Trump.
She served Big Macs with French fries.
Okay.
America.
All right.
We are here.
Is it the thing where he says she's not qualified to
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She's not even qualified to sling burgers or whatever. Okay. Unbelievable.
We are here.
So that's what you're going to fact check.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you did catch that at the beginning. You're gonna fact check. The first thing is, did you serve burgers at McDonald's?
Okay. Are you saying that's not a hard-hitting, powerful question? Because
We just played a bunch of clips. I would like to fact check any of those before we start asking her if she flipped burgers at McDonald's.
Yeah, right.
Gosh, I tell you, just make it stop. What? How many days left in this nonsense? What are we down to on the election and for the old man? His term. What do we got here? I need.
For Biden, we got 116 days, 4 hours, 50 minutes, and 20 seconds.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And the election is what? 40 something days away? 38?
35, 39.
So
39. Wow. After today,
America, if she's elected, we seriously get what we deserve, because at that point, it's so bad. She is so bad. And she's told us, while she tries to hide everything, the fact is we know where she stands. She wants to confiscate guns. She wants to leave the border wide open, and she will. She probably will ban fracking, even though she has sworn up and down that that's not what she's about. Well, she is. She told us last week her values haven't changed. So obviously, she's going to go for all of these things. Taxpayer-funded sex changes for illegal aliens and prisoners, the elimination of the Hyde Amendment, the legalization of crack cocaine for personal consumption. Does she still support all that stuff? Of course, journalists have dug up an article that indicated when she was Attorney General in California, she sponsored Proposition H, which was an ordinance that banned the manufacture, distribution, sale, and transfer of handguns in San Francisco. Okay, it banned the manufacture, the distribution, sale, and transfer of handguns. So not even just assault rifles. She was going after handguns. Security guards, police officers, active members of the military, and criminals would be the only people left with a gun in San Francisco if she would have had her way. So has she changed on that? Of course not. No. I mean, she told us her values haven't changed. So she still wants to do that.
It's just, I tell you, Nana and I had a discussion the other day, and we were just trying to figure out the last Democrat nominee, not president, Democrat nominee that we could say genuinely loved America. And we had to go all the way back to 1984, and Walter Mondale was where we settled in. Is that not the most pathetic thing? I just think about this. That's why it was such a breath of fresh air to have Donald Trump as president, because we finally had a president that loved America. I mean, I think George W. Bush loved America, but it was just like after the desert that was Barack Obama, the American-hating Oval Office guy that, we know did not love this country and sought to destroy it. And that's why people flocked to Donald Trump, because it was like, there's no ambiguity. Donald Trump loves America.
Yeah.
And now I'm just saying, can we get a Democrat nominee that loves America?
No,
it's been
we
40
can't.
years.
Yeah.
Madness, man.
Who loves America and who, I don't know, tells the truth every once in a while. I really hate this story she keeps throwing out there about the woman who bled out in the parking lot, because abortion is their main thing. And they really think that that's what's going to get them elected, is to scare people into believing that they can't get an abortion anytime or anywhere. And that if it's up to Donald Trump, we'll have people bleeding out in parking lots all the time who need assistance. She doesn't tell this actual story, though, of the woman in Georgia that did get a legal abortion, and it killed her.
Gosh, yes.
The tragic death of Amber Thurman. I wish she'd tell this story. Where's this story? She's blaming Thurman's death on Georgia's law banning the abortion of babies who have a heartbeat. That lie, of course, originally came from ProPublica, the liberal outlet, and it's not only slanderous, it's actually dangerous, because if people just turn to this abortion pill willy-nilly to terminate their pregnancies, they might run into real problems. She was a single mother of a young boy, and she learned in the summer of 2022 that she was pregnant with twins. And she decided that these twins would disrupt her newfound stability. So she decided to abort them. And there were some logistical problems that derailed her plan to have a surgical abortion. So she just did the chemical one. She just took the pill. An abortion clinic in North Carolina gave her the abortion pill, sent her home with misoprostol, however you say that. But these pills not only caused the fetal demise, which is what they're supposed to do, they also killed Thurman herself. Because after killing her twins, that left her with 2 dead bodies inside of her, which is not good for you. And her body didn't expel the aborted fetuses. So she developed sepsis, which is a common consequence of abortion pills, by the way. Nobody talks about that. They never mention that. She had not expelled all the fetal tissue from her body. She showed up at Piedmont Henry Hospital in need of a routine procedure to clear it from her uterus. The hospital, for reasons never explained, didn't get around to removing the remains for 20 hours. The sepsis had advanced too far at that point, and it killed her on the operating table. So is this supposedly the woman that died in the parking lot bleeding out? I don't know. But she doesn't tell the actual story of that abortion gone awry. And, Amber Thurman's not the only one that's ever happened to. 888-900-3393. Let me tell you about First Liberty. They are doing some incredible work. Because right now, the future of the Supreme Court is on the ballot. The radical left is aiming to eliminate conservative majorities in the court by packing it with hand-picked justices to get the outcomes they want. President Biden has made reforming the court one of his final priorities before he leaves office. But don't be fooled. Their real goal is court packing. At First Liberty, they know what this is. It's a Supreme Court coup. And come January, this plan could become reality. With simple majority votes in Congress and the president's signature, So that's all it would take. And that's why First Liberty is sounding the alarm, and they need you to join them. As the 2024 election approaches, we really have to do something here. So first, find out where your candidate stands on packing the court, share what you learn with everybody, and do your civic duty and vote. If we lose the court, we could lose the country. Visit supremecoup.com/Pat. That's Supreme, C-O-U-P, supremecoup.com/Pat. To learn how you can help stop the radical left Supreme Court coup and protect our judiciary, ensuring the future of our constitutional rights for generations to come. It's supremecoup.com/Pat.
Subscribe to Pat Gray Unleashed on Apple Music and Spotify. Pat Gray Unleashed.
Let's see. You got this tweet here, edited for bias. Tweets, when Harris mentions 1,500 border agents in the amnesty bill, it was not to secure the border. It was to help process more illegals into the country, replacing federal agents from other DHS agencies like air marshals that were reassigned to the border.
Hey, yeah, all right.
That's a really good point. Thank you for making it. Something that we need to keep an eye on. In fact, I'm not sure there's an awful lot we can do about this because it's already been approved. George Soros and his takeover of 200 radio stations nationwide.
This is dirty.
Oh, man.
This is dirty.
So he's been leaning on the Democrat-controlled FCC for months to try to fast-track his group's acquisition of over 200 radio stations in 40 markets, including stations that carry shows like Glenn Beck, Mark Levin, Eric Erickson, Fred Fredrickson, Johnny Johnston.
Okay, Johnny Johnston. When you start messing with the stations that Johnny Johnston's on, I start
Yeah,
to
right.
perk
What
up a
about
little
Steve Stevenson?
I don't like him. He and I crossed paths back then.
Oh, okay.
I don't like him.
All right. But Sean Hannity, Dana Lash, a lot of conservatives are on these stations. Are they going to be after George Soros takes control? I don't know, but the FCC adopted an order to approve the purchase.
Wait, where's the 6 months?
Yeah, they just fast-tracked it for
What
him.
about the public comment?
Yeah, don't worry about
It's
that.
a foreign buyer.
Yeah.
If ever there was a time we need to have a discussion about who's going to own these radio stations in America, it might be now.
Yep. Unvetted foreign investors, and George Soros among them, who the Democrats spared from the customary national security review process. Don't worry about it. It's George Soros. We all know George Soros and love him, right?
Oh, boy.
Man.
Don't like it.
It's an unprecedented decision for the commission
Mm-hmm.
that would not alternatively have been accepted in normal circumstances. And you might remember that Barack Obama addressed big media groups and them taking control of a lot of media.
When a company like Clear Channel starts gobbling up all the radio stations, or
Clear Channel,
Rupert Murdoch starts having his eyes on a bunch of different media outlets. They can outbid a lot of smaller outlets.
Right.
What I've said
that's
is
bad,
I'm committed to having the FCC review what our current policies are in terms of media diversification.
Mm-hmm. I wonder, do you still feel that way or what? I haven't heard him speak out about George Soros gobbling up 200 radio stations.
Oh, he's going to do that today.
Oh, is he? That's on the docket
It's
for
on his schedule. Yeah.
Barack today? Good. Okay, yeah. Because he should have a problem with this. Because radio groups like Clear Channel shows you that was a while ago. It's now iHeartRadio. But those freaks, those extremists, so ridiculous. Like they tried to put liberals on talk radio stations. Clear Channel did that. Because they didn't want to be regulated by the government, so they did a preemptive step, and they tried it out. All right, let's put some liberals on some of these stations. Let's see how it flies. It didn't. They got massacred. Why? Because liberals aren't entertaining, and they can't defend their point of view, and that's why they try to shut down our point of view, because they can't win the arguments. And so it makes it really tough when you're embarrassing yourself in front of your audience every day, and that's what they did. And so it didn't last. Remember, what was it, Air America? Where's that today?
Oh, boy.
What happened to Air America?
Oh.
Even what's-his-face was part of that. Went on to be senator. Al Franken. Al Franken. Yep. He was terrific, too, on Air America. But, that didn't pan out for him because it sucks. And they're ridiculous. And they're not entertaining. And it doesn't work. But it'll be interesting to see what happens now with this Soros debacle, because 200 stations. If you start to hear Sean Hannity and Glenn Beck get dropped from radio station, you'll know what's going on there. It's not because the ratings are bad. It's because George Soros just bought the radio station.
Tell you what, Jessica Rosenworcel, the chairman of the FCC, you remember how we had our Ajit Pai? Remember how Barack Obama put him in, and then he became head of the FCC, and it was a glorious time.
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, Barack Obama put Rosenworcel in there. Trump rubber stamped her continuing, and now she heads it up, and she is
a nightmare.
Yeah. I love the band that her brother's in, but beyond that, no.
What band's her brother in?
Guster. It hurts. It hurts, man.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat. I have some breaking news. All of my news apps just keep telling me this is a pretty big deal here. And then I just swiped them away. Now I can't read it. No, here we go. Hoda, the chick, what's her last name? Kotb, thank you. She's going to be leaving the Today Show after 26 years. I hope you're sitting down for that. Well,
yeah, I am.
Clearly you're sitting.
Usually I'm standing for the show, but right now I am sitting. So
That's
that worked
good.
out well.
I can see that.
Because otherwise I would have fallen flat.
So Hoda
Kotb
she's leaving.
is leaving. Do we know that for a fact? Or is this one of those, she's going to sell facial cream?
I see. Maybe that's it.
Is that the deal?
How are you going to make it through a day without Hoda?
Without Hoda Kotb? I can't. I just can't.
And honestly, where did the 26 years?
I know, it's amazing. Wow.
I still, whenever I see her on the screen, I think, oh yeah, that's right.
She's doing that. She's a new person.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it was only recently that I even learned her name. I'll bet within the last 2 or 3 years, I've known who Hoda Kotb is.
Hoda. So rolls right off the tongue.
Did she replace, was it, what's her face? She was on CBS, Evening News
I'm
for a
looking
while.
right now here. So, Katie Couric?
Katie Couric is who I'm trying to think of, yes.
I think so, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say yes.
Let's go with yes.
And then,
all right.
Couric, she replaced who? Jane Pauley? Right? Is that right?
Wow, maybe. That's going back a ways. Something she did, I don't know when it was from. Jane Pauley just showed up on my YouTube feed interviewing somebody. I thought, wow, Jane Pauley, that's ancient times. Those days don't come back. Elon Musk has a nice new meme out. The liberal feminist. You know this feminist that pops up all the time? There she is. Remember that angry feminist? This is her today on the right. That is so great.
It's Tim Walz, if you're listening.
So you got the actual angry feminist, and then on the right, it's Tim Walz in the same pose. Exact same pose.
That's funny.
That is funny. That's good stuff.
And they're both angry feminists, so it works out nicely.
Exactly. Yep. Also, Greta Thunberg has a new cause. And so I'm pretty excited about it.
Okay.
She was so effective and so great with climate change that I can't wait to see her change the world in other ways. I think she's tackling those darnable Israelis and their genocide right now, isn't she? Isn't that what she's doing?
Let's see.
Yeah, let's see.
In Palestine and all over the world, the fight against colonialism
got a picnic
and
table on.
corporations' destruction of the planet
Picnic tablecloth.
are intrinsically linked.
Oh,
Look at
climate
Chevron.
change. Look at that.
Everyone knows that Chevron is one of the world's biggest climate criminals.
Read it.
But the oil giant is also fueling Israel's genocide in
Read
Palestine.
It. Oh, wow. Yep.
As Israel
fueling
bombs
genocide.
hospitals, homes, and schools in Gaza, Chevron supplies
Why
them
don't you
with
read
energy
up on things?
from 2 Israeli-claimed gas
Dummy.
fields in the Mediterranean, making millions in the process. Ending Israel's genocide in Gaza and Israeli apartheid is a climate justice issue.
Oh my gosh.
Israel is destroying Palestinian lives, but also destroying Palestinian lands and resources through its warfare and industries that pollute and destroy
Chevron
the environment. We cannot stand by and do nothing.
No.
I'm joining Palestinian
Declare
global
war
calls
against
to
Chevron.
boycott Chevron.
Oh, boycott Chevron.
Together we are calling
Boycott
for Chevron
Chevron.
to withdraw from its projects with Israel.
Okay.
Join the movement to defend human rights and protect the planet by
say
pledging
no
to boycott Chevron
that.
now.
So
Again,
genuine.
No, thank you.
That's the first time she read that, by the way.
It's agonizing.
Hold on, put the last frame up there again. I'm
How
sorry.
dare you?
What do we got going on behind her? Is that a llama I saw behind Greta? Okay. What's happening there? It's a llama.
Oh, I guess it is, yeah.
Hashtag
And what is she?
boycott.
She's not like a little girl anymore. Maybe she should look into some of this stuff.
Okay.
And see what she's calling apartheid and genocide. I don't know. Just look into it a little bit. Stop with your anti-Semitism and just educate yourself a bit. What is she, 23? 24?
Are you saying the 21-year-old Greta needs to
21. Okay.
do some research? Is that what you asking her
Yes,
to do?
that's what I'm asking her
At
to do.
21, you start doing your
she's an
research.
adult now. Maybe you could do a little bit of research and figure out that you're a moron. And you're on the wrong side of these issues.
Did you? Did they get boycott Chevron to trend? Is that
I didn't see it
really
yesterday.
popular?
So.
Is that really popular? Are you kidding me? That's all anybody's talking about.
I would love to look up and see how we're doing.
Check the ticker symbol. Did it plummet yesterday and when just go down?
Oh, yeah, their stock probably
the stock went down.
Sure.
dropped through the floor yesterday, I'll bet.
Gosh.
Wow.
You hate to see
You don't want to be on Greta's bad
not.
side.
We'll
You
see.
really
Well,
don't.
we learned yesterday that most likely voters only care 3% of them only care about climate change.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, 3%.
3%.
A whopping 3%. Ugh. Okay, well, because we're so concerned about climate change.
Of course we are.
And, how disastrous it's been, and that there are more frequent and extreme weather events. It starts that way. I'm not making that up. In this article, it does start. Climate change has led to more frequent and extreme weather events. Here's the thing. No, it hasn't.
So what you're reading
No, it has not.
is a handy guide from the University of Colorado, a liberal cesspool in America.
Yeah.
And so what is it? What's this condition called now?
It's climate anxiety.
Climate
Keith.
anxiety.
Climate,
so these are
6 tips to cope with climate anxiety.
because I need them because I got it.
Okay, let's go back just a few months to prior to June 1st when the hurricane season started.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably a bad time to talk about it because there is a hurricane bearing down right now in Florida. And I don't even know where is it category-wise? Is it a hurricane or is it a tropical storm
No,
still?
it became a hurricane.
Yeah, it's one.
One? It's a 1.
It might be a 2 when it makes landfall, I think.
Okay, so it's a 1 or 2. So if it's a 1 or 2, we still would have had a grand total this year of 0 major hurricanes. Now, a 1 and 2 are serious, and you don't want to be involved in them because they will cause some damage. But we've only had 3 of those. This will be the 3rd to make landfall in the United States. They were predicting, 25 or something. Now, this season doesn't end until November 1st, so we're a little over a month away, right? But this is not going to be a wildly active hurricane season, which they were predicting. because of climate change. It was going to be this huge, disastrous year as far as hurricanes. And once again, they're disappointed because they're not more frequent and they're not more extreme. It's not happening. Yes, there are bad weather events. There always have been, and there always will be. Because that's just the climate on this planet. So those things are going to happen. But here's 6 tips to cope with the climate anxiety that I know you must be feeling right now.
Daily. Every minute by minute, Pat.
Are you with the Doobie Brothers or minute by minute?
Good job.
By minute by minute. We'll be holding on because there's disasters around every corner.
Yeah.
What is climate anxiety? Also called eco-anxiety. It refers to
alliteration.
Distressing feelings related to climate change impacts. Okay.
So definitely that.
So how can climate change impact mental health? It can elicit emotions like grief, anger, shame, loss, guilt, hopelessness, and fatigue, among others.
Okay, the mentally ill people that believe this crap, that probably does cause that.
Yeah, I'll bet it does. But here's the first thing you can do.
Okay.
Focus on what you can control.
Okay.
Climate change is a complex issue. Remind yourself that climate change cannot be solved by any one person, organization, or government on their own. While this may feel disheartening, it's also a good reminder to focus on what is within your control rather than what isn't.
I see.
Okay, so you can't control what China is doing, for instance, destroying the planet. You can't worry about that because you got no control over it. Number 2, avoid overload. Working on too many climate projects or advocating for too many causes. These are my problems here. That's what I'm doing.
That's okay. So we found common ground because actually, Chris and I had a little meeting just 2 days ago about how we have too many projects
just
going
too
on
many.
with the climate stuff.
Too many. We had to drop like 6 of them.
Have you really?
Yeah.
6?
6.
I've only dropped 2.
Oh, well, can you get up? Because
look at you bragging over there.
Yeah. Well, I'm in so many. I thought, all right, maybe I can back off 2 of these.
Back off a couple of them.
Projects. So working on too many climate projects or advocating for too many causes can be unwieldy and is more likely to lead to burnout. And we don't want that.
We don't want you to burn out.
And that's what I'm in danger of. Burnout now on the 15 or 20 climate related activities that I was involved
20?
in. Yeah, 15 to 20.
Wow.
Oh, you got to pull back on that.
Yeah.
More than 2. I want to.
Because we care about you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And honestly, these kids, the last 30 years have been brainwashed to the point where, like, don't have kids because you'll destroy the planet with your offspring. And they've been told there's no future here. I mean, there's not going to be any rainfall. It's going to be 120 degrees in the shade every day of your life. I mean, they have created this mental issue.
They have. And, again, we just went through summer in Dallas, which is usually brutal. Last year, it was, I don't know how many days over 100 there were, 70 or something? Not in a row, but there was like 43 in a row, and I think 70 total. We might have had 5 or 6.
Okay, hold on.
How many days over 100 were there this year? I don't know. It was a pretty mild summer.
It was a mild summer.
It's beautiful right now.
Oh, I'm wearing my shorts because it's so cold outside.
When I left yesterday, it was 70 degrees. When I came out this morning, it was 63.
It was so
that doesn't happen
good.
in September in Dallas.
No.
But just remember the all-time statewide high temperature records. The majority of them were in the 1930s. Yeah. I mean, these dark red ones here, 1930s. These are 1800s over here. You only have 2 of these that were in the last. I'm just doing quick math here. The last 30 years.
2?
Only
2.
Yeah.
Oh my
so
gosh.
we got
what year?
Colorado and South Carolina, 2012 and 2019.
Okay.
Before that, you have to go back to the 80s. Yeah. 1994. So the greens here, 94.
Right, 94.
So in other words, 5 in the last 30 years.
Jeez.
I'm sorry. Washington State coming in at 2021. But other than that, that's the anomalies right there. The dark red is the 1930s.
Wow. I was going to ask you, what was the red? Wow, that's a lot of red.
1930s.
Wow.
Good stuff.
Because that was the hottest decade, and they keep trying to reduce the temperatures. They're going back and redoing the temperatures from the 90s to make today look hotter than the 90s were, or the 30s were. So they're going back and reducing the temperatures in the... How do you revise temperatures?
Inflation.
From almost 100 years ago. It's inflation.
Yeah, it's heat inflation.
Oh, all right. Well, that makes perfect sense.
And then I bet it's Donald Trump's fault.
Okay,
well, duh.
But because of all this climate anxiety that we have built up in us, here's the third thing you can do to reduce.
Oh, good.
that.
I need these tips.
Okay. Just practice compassion.
No.
Whenever we approach painful situations or emotions, it's important to do so with kindness and compassion for ourselves and others.
You can skip this.
For instance, it may not always be feasible to recycle every item that you can.
Oh, yeah.
It's not always feasible.
I spend so much time thinking,
well, yeah, you beat yourself up like I do, right? You beat yourself up on it.
Every night.
If you, like, for instance, I drink a lot of bottled water, and when I accidentally throw one into the regular garbage as opposed to recycling,
what do you do?
I break down and cry like a 3-year-old girl.
You don't just fish it out?
No.
Well,
first I weep because I feel so guilty that I almost left it in the regular trash.
I see.
But you do take it out.
But of course I take it out. If I remember, there was a time one week, this was... I don't know, 6 years ago, where...
Oh, wow, it's still hunting you.
It's still hunting
Holy crap,
me.
man.
6 years ago.
Yeah, it was... I remember it today. It was July 31st.
Okay.
2018.
Oh, wow.
So it was a little over 6 years ago.
Holy.
And I realized that, oh my gosh, I didn't take that bottle, plastic bottle out of the regular garbage and put it into the recycling before the garbage man
All
came.
right, well, hold on a second. Did you...
Damn it! Darn!
Oh, no.
Oh, dang it! Darn!
Set him off.
Why did I...
Set him off.
Dang it! Darn it!
Okay, but did you rinse it out first, at least?
No, I did not.
Okay. Look,
No.
you're going to have to let that go, though.
It was filled with water. Why would I rinse it out?
Chemicals in
You're
that
supposed
water.
to do that. Yeah, you're supposed to rinse out every plastic thing. Pat,
Wait,
don't act like
why?
you don't know.
Why?
Come on.
Why do you do that?
There's
Seriously.
chemicals in there.
Don't get hung up.
Yeah.
In the plastic?
Yes.
Then why am I drinking the water out of the plastic bottle if there's chemicals in it?
That's a good question.
I was
you're
just
going
gonna
to have
ask
to think
that,
about
yes.
that, aren't you?
Now,
Why
that's
don't you think
another
about
thing
that? Yeah.
I've got anxiety over.
So
thanks a lot.
You know what really sucks is that I of course keep the chart of what's a do and what's a don't when it comes to the recycling can. And I have it hanging up. In fact, I have it bronzed in my garage above the garbage cans and everything. And then I stand there and I just think, I don't know, does this fit into this one or this one? And I spent, the amount of time.
Hours? Would you say hours every day?
I'm not going to get into it. You're not my shrink.
Okay,
so
so defensive.
And then if it doesn't fit into the recycling, but I know it would be bad for the landfill and for future generations.
Right.
Then I put it into my my EV pickup truck. And then I take it down.
You drive it to the station.
Yeah, take it down to the recycling place, or the plant, whatever it's called.
Nicoa?
Sure.
Yeah.
And then I say, hey,
Alcoa,
release this burden from the back of my
Alcoa can't wait.
EV pickup that's back there.
Okay.
Because I want to do good by the planet.
That's a lot more than I do.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
you hate him. Okay, so
you hate the planet.
You hate Gaia.
I guess I do.
What a piece of
Unlike
crap.
Pat, I didn't know you had to,
even
do
look
all
at
that
you.
if it doesn't fit my chart.
Well, let me just finish this practice compassion thing because this is an important sentence if you're trying to reduce climate anxiety.
Okay, I'll tune out.
Beating yourself up about it or worrying that you could be doing more can fuel emotional turmoil.
I see.
See?
Boy,
6
I know
years ago,
that.
you got to let it go.
Which can make it difficult to move forward. Okay, I've got 3 more of these to help you reduce.
Oh, good.
Wait, what?
And
There's
I'm going to get
more?
to them. Yeah, there's more.
He's a helper.
That was only 3. There's 6 total. So we got 3 more. Hang on, we'll get to them. But first, I got to tell you about the Beam Dream Powder. Because how do you describe your relationship with sleep? Is it strained a bit? Yeah. If you struggle to fall asleep or stay asleep, your sleep quality could be affecting your day-to-day life. If you've tried other sleep supplements and nothing works, let me tell you about Beam's Dream Powder. This will make everything better for you. It's science-backed. It's healthy hot cocoa. that has completely transformed how people sleep. Dealing with restless nights, waking up groggy. Dream Powder makes all the difference. Dream Powder is guilt-free. Flavors like sea salt caramel and cinnamon cocoa. It's really good. And only 15 calories per serving. So unlike other sleep aids, Dream won't cause next-day grogginess either. It's an all-natural blend of reishi, magnesium, and other fantastic items like melatonin to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. Right now, because you listen and watch, you get a special discount on Beam Dreams powder. Get up to 40% off for a limited time by going to shopbeam.com/PatGray and use the promo code PAT at checkout. That's shop, BEAM, shopbeam.com/PatGray for up to 40% off.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Okay, keep in mind, these tips are from the University of Colorado. So they know what they're doing here. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't recommend this, but they do. The fourth thing you can do to reduce climate anxiety. Following climate-driven accounts or scrolling through social and news posts about climate change all the time can exacerbate feelings of distress.
Right.
What you need to do then is take a break from climate news. Now, I don't...
Wait a minute.
I don't subscribe to that. I don't think you should.
Yeah, I have. How many alerts do we have, Chris, set up for climate news between you and I?
All of them, right?
All of them.
They're all about climate news.
So
all notifications.
I think what we have done is we've come up with every possible way to combine, climate, heat, drought, you name it. Chris and I stay on top of climate news.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Actually, one just went off. One just went off. That
Did it?
Helen, the hurricane. Helene, sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's at category 2 right now, but a possibility of being a cat 4 by the time it hits Florida.
Oh, wow.
And that's because of climate change. See, now,
well, yeah. The seas are boiling. That's why.
Why are you doing this, man?
The seas are boiling.
Why are you giving us climate anxiety? We don't need to hear this.
When is landfall? When is it expected
That's
to
on
hit?
the next alert. Give me a second.
Okay. All right. Number 5. Remember that you're not alone. Okay, you don't have to do this all by yourself. It's easy to get caught up in all the bad news surrounding climate change, but it's also important to remember that there are a lot of people working to solve this issue, and positive change can and will happen. Okay, we will spend $100 trillion.
Thank you.
To manipulate the weather on this planet. Okay, we will do that. And number 6, talk to someone about how you're feeling. Okay, climate anxiety is a very real experience, and it's not something you have to go through alone. If your feelings start to affect your life or ability to cope day to day, see, this is how bad they've made it for these kids.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They have scared them out of their minds to the point where they really believe that in a matter of a couple of years, we're done. That absolute catastrophe is going to befall this planet because we're driving SUVs and whatever. Because it's our SUVs that are causing this problem. As we all know, just below the surface of the Earth, it's incredibly hot, several million degrees. So this is what they've done to the kids.
Yep.
And this generation is so freaked out by it that these 6 tips for reducing their climate anxiety that they've all caused are necessary. Now we've got to talk them down from the ledge that we've driven them out to. I mean, it's to the point where they can't even enjoy their lives because we've been telling them how bad we are and how much we're destroying this planet and that all of these things are unusual. They really don't. The generation that is coming up now, the millennials and even is it Gen Y, the ones right before the millennials, they really believe that hurricanes are something unusual, that tornadoes didn't happen before, but now they do, that we didn't get to 100 degrees anywhere in the past, but now we do, that there've never been droughts or floods, and now all of a sudden we've got all these things. We have extreme heat. We have drought. We have floods. We have tornadoes. We have hurricanes. We've got earthquakes. I mean, all of those things they think are only caused by us. It's despicable what the left has done to these kids.
Yeah.
So it should make landfall tonight
7 p.m.-ish.
7 p.m.-ish, and then by 1 a.m. it'll be in Georgia tomorrow morning. By 1 a.m. in Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Is it still expected in Florida?
Well, that's where it's hit.
Like that's what it's going to go to the Panhandle and then straight up to Georgia.
All right.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Please
and if you're in that area,
evacuate. If they say evacuate,
the necessary
just
precautions. Leave. Yeah. All right. So I don't know if we're going to do this on overtime or to save this for tomorrow. Did you see the starting quarterback at UNLV just quit in the middle of game week because he wasn't getting his NIL money that he was promised? Did you see that?
I did not.
Here we go. Here we go. It's on now.
Wow.
Okay, you didn't give me everything you promised. Bye-bye. We'll get into that.
Okay.
Coming up. And we'll see you back here tomorrow. Jeffy will be joining us then.
Be safe, Florida.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.